well done, Miss Compare. Now, this last category is, if anybody who's attended this before knows, an emotional one for me, and I expect for a lot of you as well. Not only because I'm a patron of the Argus Appeal, but also after the tragic death of my dear friend Carol Barnes. And it was after she died that the Argus decided to name the Courageous Child Award after her, which, of course, makes this category very, very special. She was a very, very good friend of mine. I miss her a lot. Now, Carol would have loved this legacy. She always attended the awards and was particularly moved by the courageous children that she saw. You're going to see some tonight. On to the award. The Argus wrote this: children are the most precious gift, but as a child, you know, proven courageous by helping others or fighting illness and come through still smiling. I want to welcome now Ken Thomas, Provincial Grand Master of Sussex Freemasons, and Elsa Giglio, who is the Argus Appeal Coordinator, onto the stage to present this award. Just before they start, let me explain that Sussex Freemasons are long-time supporters of the Argus Appeal, and Ken, on behalf of everyone at the Appeal and the many hundreds of local people who benefit from it, very grateful thanks. Thank you very much indeed.
We love joining in on the occasion.
Good, good.
The nominations for the Courageous Child of the Year award, there are 8 of them. The first of them is Stephen Robinson.
Stephen Robinson, right. Well, that's it. He's here, yes.
The second nomination is David Edwards.
Oh, hang on, we're dashing.
Sorry, I beg your pardon.
We're dashing ahead here. Sorry, no, that's all right. It's okay, okay. I was going to explain that each child will get a £100 cheque for everybody shortlisted on the category, and the nominees for the Courageous Child of the Year are all waiting in the wings somewhere, we hope, will each come on stage before we hear a little bit about each of them. So don't forget, you're going to see nominees, and this young man here, Stephen. Oh, and Stephen, he's one of the people on the list as well. Gosh, it's all so exciting up here, I'll tell you. Right, off we go. Stephen Robinson, this is him. Let me talk about him a little bit. Now, 2011, Stephen, this is a year you will care to remember. Won't be a year you'll care to remember, I wouldn't have thought. No, right, okay. The 11-year-old has spent most of this year in King's College Hospital, London, in almost constant severe pain. That's right. Diagnosed in January with pancreatitis, the Shoreham pupil does not eat solid food and is kept alive by tube feeding through his nose. He developed pneumonia and spent 2 weeks in a high dependency unit. His grandmother, Susan Robinson, you know, the grandma, what do you call a grandma or what? Nana, right, okay, Nana said this: Stephen has been very brave throughout all he endured. He will be undergoing more procedures later this summer and may have to have surgery, so his illness is far from at an end. This was written, of course, earlier on in the year as part of the nomination to the Argus. He has shown remarkable courage during the whole of his illness, and we are very proud of him. Well done. So you've got the idea. We will see each of the nominees coming on. Here we go. Next one, please.
The second nominee is David Edwards.
David Edwards. David's already excelled tonight by winning the Carer of the Year category. David cares for his disabled mum while balancing school, but also finds time to campaign for young carers' rights. Truly courageous and inspirational. He even managed top grades in his GCSEs. Well done, well done. Next one, please.
The third nominee is Craig Beckett.
Craig Beckett. Craig and his mum here. Now, while most children buzz with excitement on Christmas Eve, 3 years ago, Craig Beckett was coming to terms with some rather difficult news. On December the 24th, 2008, doctors told him he was suffering from a progressive degenerative neurological condition, ALD, as it's usually shortened to. Over the last 15 months, the condition has really started to have an impact on 10-year-old Craig. By Christmas 2010, the Chadey Heritage pupil was confined to this wheelchair you see here and had lost the use of his left arm and hand. In March this year, he lost the ability to speak and eat, and as recently lost the use of his right arm and hand. His mother, that's you, Katrina, isn't it, from Haywardsheath, said this: "Despite all of this, he has kept smiling, never lost his sense of humour or given up. He shows so much courage and lights up any room he enters."
The fourth nominee is Millie Davis.
Millie Davis. Millie Davis now Jennifer Wood, that's not, you're not Jennifer, are you? That's your mum. Nan, yes, I thought so. Jennifer Wood, that's her grandmother, is amazed at how her granddaughter Millie Davis copes with her painful condition. Just two years old, are you two? Yeah, two, that's right. Millie was diagnosed with juvenile idiopathic arthritis. Now 5. Oh, 5 now, oh, I see. Diagnosed when you were 2, now she's 5, I understand. The Brighton schoolgirl has had to endure weekly steroid injections into her joints and fortnightly blood tests to help her cope with this painful condition which severely hampers her mobility. Mrs. Wood from Nutley Avenue in Saltdean said this: "The condition affects her mobility a great deal, but not her spirit or her enthusiasm. She finds the blood test very traumatising, has to be pinned down because she knows it's going to hurt her. But Millie is such a cheeky, happy girl in spite of everything." Well done. Well done. And the next nominee is Charlie Allen. Charlie Allen. Welcome, Charlie. He's 11 years old. He's been partially sighted since birth, but in April this year, he became completely blind. Up until this, Charlie had organised an annual 13-mile walk to raise money for the ABC Fund, a charity which helps disabled, underprivileged and disadvantaged children and the families of carers. This year was the first year he was not able to do the walk himself due to further ill health, but he urged on the Seaford Ramblers to walk on his behalf. He was nominated by his best friend Isabel Davis, who said this: "It's fabulous for anyone to be this kind, but for someone with pathological myopia, which is what he has, it's incredible. He's forever in and out of hospital, but he never complains." Well done, Sean.
The next nominee is Maisie Smith.
Maisie Smith. Now, Maisie can't be with us, unfortunately, but I think a couple of friends can. Is Christine and Kerry, are you here representing Maisie? Are they not? No, okay. Well, let's just tell you about Maisie Smith. Learning that you have cancer is a traumatic and overwhelming experience for anybody to hear. But how can you cope if you're only 5 years old? With a cheeky smile, bucket loads of bravery and a little help from your best friend, if you're Maisie Smith here. She was diagnosed with leukemia in May and spent all of June and July in hospital after catching a potentially fatal infection. She takes at least 10 tablets a day and visits a cancer specialist hospital at least once a week for chemotherapy. Through it all, Maisie has kept on smiling, thanks in part to the support of her friend Amy Thurston, who is pictured here. And inspired by Maisie, she organised a charity walk for Cancer Research UK. For Maisie Smith, let's applaud.
The next nominee is Harry Wood.
Harry Wood. Now, Harry and I share something. He plays golf at Tilgate. So do I. I bet he played better than I do. Nobody can play worse, let's face it. A friendly game of golf, however, changed Harry's life forever in January. When the 14-year-old was accidentally hit in the face by a friend at Tilgate Forest, he was left with a broken cheekbone, a fractured eye socket, and without most of the sight in his left eye. He had to have a metal plate inserted into his face, which has left him with a scar on his face and his vision permanently altered. The Forest Row schoolboy was determined not to let the injuries get him down, and he's created a YouTube video charting his recovery as a thank you to medics of East Surrey and Sussex Hospital in Red Hill and the Queen Victoria Hospital in East Grinstead. Well done, Harry.